What up, y'all? It's your boy Lynch. I'm back in the building, y'all. It's been a hot minute since I've done a live stream, man. First things first, I got my homie over here. I got to introduce y'all to my homie. His name is Jay. He's a Marine. He's been in the Marine for about 16 years, right, Jay?
Sure.
Okay. So, me and Jay, he has a lot of, y'all got to check his video, his YouTube out also. He has a YouTube. Jay, tell them what your YouTube is so they can go check you out, man.
Yeah, sit up straight and look at me. Alright, so first of all, my YouTube is a bunch of videos. I'm a video production, by Trading Video Production company I'm in, and we're doing a little shorts and we're making movies and films now. Right now, we got Non-Consensual that just dropped. It dropped last month on the 4th, and it's doing pretty good.
Non-Consensual. Y'all go check this video out on Jay's YouTube. Now, what's your YouTube called? What's your YouTube?
So YouTube is Jay Breeze LLC.
So Jay space BREEZE.
Yes.
Okay. And maybe we'll put a link or something up here in the chat or something like that so y'all can see. So go check out Jay Breeze LLC. He got a great video out right now for the Marines, and it's called Non-Consensual. So it's the same way in the Army how we talk about sexual harassment and assault prevention and stuff like that. Same thing on his video. Y'all gotta go check it out because at the end of this, towards the end of the video, there's a little twist to it. Now I keep calling it a video, but it's really like a short movie. So y'all definitely gotta go check it out. Me and Jay, we met through our wives. Our wives work together. My wife was, telling me about this girl named Brittany that she works with, and she said, Brittany.
Shout out to you, baby.
There go Britt. What up, Britt? But my wife was telling me about Brittany, who has a husband who's in the Marines. Y'all know how I feel about Marines. Very, very passionate about them because of their motivation and their discipline that they have. I always looked up to the Marines. So when my wife told me that she had a friend whose husband was in the Marines, I'm like, cool, let's meet him or whatever. I met Jay. Definitely, as soon as we met, we started clicking just like that. And then we both found out that we both have interest in video. So that even brought us even closer together. And that's why we're here today, knocking out YouTube together. But make sure y'all go check out Jay Breeze LLC on YouTube. Go check it out. Let me see if I can pull him up real quick. I subscribed to his page. Jay Breeze Flow. So if y'all check out at Jay Breeze Flow LLC, let me see if I can share his page with y'all real quick up in the chat. Okay, y'all make sure y'all definitely go show him some love, SFAM, and go check out Non-Consensual. Go check that out and show him some love. But we got together and we were talking about different videos and just different things that we like to do, and I showed him stuff that I do on YouTube, and he was saying how he liked the last video that I posted. Link is in the chat right now to go check out Jay. But he was talking to me about this video that he saw that I posted where I was talking about the soft platoon sergeant, the softer platoon sergeant. He thought that would be a great topic for him to talk about and for us to get together. And I don't know, it was just because we both have experiences with tough tough platoon sergeants and weak platoon sergeants and stuff like that. So y'all gotta rock with us on this, okay? It's kind of like a podcast.
Yeah,
we
did some back and forth.
Yeah, we didn't really plan too much. We just know the basics of what we wanted to talk about. We don't have, a script or anything like that. But I really just want to show him some love and show him how to do YouTube and just get together and bond with him a little bit and do this. And he had a great idea to get up here and do that. So, but yeah. So for you, 16 years in the Marines, dog.
16, man.
Are you gonna do 20 or what?
That's a discussion.
Okay.
That's a discussion.
That's another discussion.
It's a whole
to continue or retire.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know I want to do my 20. I'm getting ready to hit 14 years here on the 16th of this month. I'll hit my 14th year. So yeah, we just doing it up, man. But with our time in the military, right? I'm a platoon sergeant right now, and I got some special news for y'all coming up soon. Some of y'all may know, some of y'all may not know. But I got some special news for y'all about me coming up very soon. I just been taking my time, doing what I gotta do. So you are a staff sergeant in the Marines?
Staff sergeant in the Marines.
Are you
staff sergeant?
Y'all gotta check out on his YouTube. He got a short. We all know here on the post that I live on, y'all know it's strictly Army. So with him entering the gate coming on post, there's an Army soldier that looks at his card and goes, welcome to Fort Leonard Wood, Sarn. he's a Marine, so y'all know he automatically in his mind he like, hold up, what the hell you just called me, man? Staff Sergeant, you feel me? So what y'all gotta go check out his YouTube page because it's short up there and the look on his face, man, is freaking priceless. But yeah, so are you a platoon sergeant right now?
So right now I'm not a platoon sergeant.
Okay.
I have done it before. We call it something. It's similar to it. It kind of coincides with a company gunnery sergeant.
Okay.
And whatnot. So that would be a step up, and a platoon sergeant would be a little step down as far as each significant platoon.
Okay.
Depending on what like battalion you're in, company, regiment.
Okay.
Breaks down like that.
But you've been in a platoon sergeant position before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted to talk about the tough platoon sergeants and the weak platoon sergeants, right? So I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, Jay, me personally, right? And in the Army, I've gotten this a lot from my leaders, some of my battle buddies that were right along with me, rank-wise, my peers and stuff like that. Just different things that I look at as deficiencies in my leadership, right? I all the time get that, like, I second guess, and not that my confidence is low, but I always second guess myself. So they always tell me, I've always had leaders like Lynch, stop second guessing yourself. Some of my battle buddies like Lynch, stop second guessing yourself. I think that has just a part of who I am as a leader in general, right? So me personally, I would kind of label myself as the weaker platoon sergeant. And I'm just putting it out there, right? And there's a lot of reasons why. I've tried being tough platoon sergeant, tough sergeants at times. And for me personally, I don't know. It's something within me. You got to have thick skin in the military in general, especially in the Marines. Like, y'all got to have.
Yeah,
I got Marine soldiers in the chat right now, you know what I'm saying, or prior service Marines who are now soldiers, and I know that they know what I'm talking about. But there's just times where I take a lot of stuff personal, where I shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, and I think that has the effect and the persona of the weaker platoon sergeant. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So what about you? How do you feel like what kind of leader you are?
I mean, well, I'll go back and kind of talk about what you were saying about like feeling that way. I guess feeling that you're weaker. I would have said that kind of like with the Marines, it's a little different. Like we don't have a choice really, as far as when we get in these leadership positions. That we're put in these positions and we're taught, hey, look, you're gonna make it work. You're gonna figure it out. You need to figure it out. And then you're gonna learn as you go. We might get one or two good leaders that like pull us off to the side and like mentor us, but for the most part, it's just like, hey, like get out there and figure it out. Like get up there and figure out what you need to do. And I think that kind of goes with most of us. I guess we're aggressive by nature. Or we're aggressive by trait, alpha by nature. That's why we're Marines.
So you say it's not just is it because you're in the Marines, or do you feel like just by nature, like you said, sometimes you just already had that persona even before you joined the Marines, that's how you were.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I don't know, for soldiers, man, I definitely feel like Marines are tougher, right? There's a lot of deficiencies that I see in the Army and then with soldiers. There's a lot of things that I wish we were more like Marines. You know what I mean? Especially in basic training. Of course, me using to be a drill sergeant, I used to watch a lot of drill instructor videos before I joined my time on the trail, right? And I used to catch myself.
Shout out to the 0911s.
Okay. I used to catch myself as a drill sergeant, man, wanting to call Marine cadences, just because I don't know, I like
about it, huh?
I like the way that it is, you know what I'm saying? But even with us drill sergeants, you got some that are really, really tough, but still, just the way that you see the drill instructors compared to drill sergeants, to me, the drill instructors have always been tougher, just in general as a branch. I have one of my best friends, my close friends. He's a retired first sergeant Marine, and even with him, he was always real tough. Like before he joined the Marines, he was just tough like that. So when you say that it's kind of in your persona before you even join, I definitely believe you and know what you're talking about. Yeah. Another part is I know that just in the Marines, like they teach you how to be like that.
They do. They
know what I
put
mean?
that, like I said, they'll throw you out there put you in those positions. So we learn early. We learn as soon as we start picking up. By the time you're like a corporal, E4 corporal, y'all got specialists.
We have corporals.
Okay,
Your corporal is an E4, but we also have a specialist that's an E4, but not a non-commissioned officer.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
So yeah, when we once we pick up E4, we become non-commissioned officers, and as soon as we hit that, we're put in those positions, those leadership positions. Sometimes even at E3 we get them, but once we get there, like it's a certain level that's expected of you. It's a certain level that comes with carrying that rank.
Okay.
So early on, like they're given responsibilities. They're given Marines to look after, and you have to explain why this Marine is doing this or why this Marine is doing that. So it kind of forces you, and you got to kind of like put your relationship aside from your friends, because all of y'all are coming in, y'all gonna be on the same level, and some of you are gonna get promoted over your buddies.
Yep.
And you just gotta have that understanding between y'all as men first, men or women. Respect them as men and women first, and then comes the rank.
Yeah.
And then comes your job. Okay. So once they get promoted, y'all just gotta have an understanding. Hey, man, I understand, like, you're doing good in your job. Hey, I'm gonna listen to you while you're at work and stuff like that. But then once we get off of work, it's a different story.
Got it.
So I just feel like we're already like programmed into being a little bit more aggressive, I guess you could say. So I say, yeah, a little bit more aggressive.
I feel you. I'm so glad we're doing this, man. And just like me and you had talked about before we even started doing this video, I knew that me and you were gonna start talking about stuff, and it's gonna bring up stuff that I wanted for us to talk about. Yeah, man. Even from us in the Army, me personally, I feel like, because I've had some platoon sergeants, some drill sergeants who weren't, they were more chill. They were more, and I don't see very much inconsistency with that in the Marines. All the female drill instructors, they all go tough. All the male drill instructors, they all go tough. There's all of them in that company. There's not one of them that's more kind of chill and blah, 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 blah. But in basic training in the Army, you definitely see that. There could be one or two drill sergeants. They don't yell very much. They're just very chill. All of y'all scream. All of y'all. Even females get the frog voice sometimes too, don't they?
Yeah, they be putting in their work. Got to put in the work.
That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. It's just crazy because the Army doesn't. They don't teach us that. I know a drill sergeant now. Just started their time on the trail, and very soft-spoken, very, like, I don't see them screaming and getting wild at all, and that's just the way it is. And I think that because that's what soldiers see when they first join, that's how they end up later on in the Army. If I would have had more NCOs that were just, when I first came in, that were just always tough and always crazy, I feel like maybe it would have taught me a little bit more to be the tougher platoon sergeant. You know what I mean?
Now it's a fine line between me. I mean, you gotta know when to turn it on. You gotta know when it's needed and when it's not needed, and that's like just part of knowing your Marines or knowing you as a leader, what you can and can't do. Being around those individuals or being around those Marines and training with them, and you figure out, hey, like, this works for this one and this one works for that one. Maybe I got to be a little bit more, maybe I can talk to this one versus me just like knife handing them going, because a lot of people, they click off with that. So you got to know how to navigate around that and still get the results that you need from those individuals. But I think it's just I feel like it's just kind of, you got to be able to differentiate. Yeah, differentiate between what it is. And I think a lot of that goes into the platoon sergeant, because you have 30 some. I know for us, it's like 30, at least 30 of them, 30 in one given platoon, and they're all different individuals.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how, hey, I can set this person down, talk to them, and then, or I can make them feel like, hey, you disappointed me today. I expect more from you. Like, you've been here doing this longer, and we got new Marines coming in, and they're looking at you.
Now, is this you talking, because you were also a drill instructor, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hoorah.
Crazy, man. Drill sergeant and drill instructor. So is this from a drill instructor's standpoint, or is this from a, because once you get done, for us, drill sergeants, when we're doing our time as a drill sergeant, we call it that's our time on the trail. Do y'all call it?
So we call it the streets, being in the streets.
So y'all are on the streets. You're in the streets, but then you go back to the fleet. Correct? Okay, so when you go back to the fleet, is it the same way? Are you still that same? Is it still that toughness? Like your sergeants and your staff sergeants, do they still have that same toughness as the drill instructors?
No, I'll just kind of speak from my experience of when I left the drill field. Like in the beginning, I feel like I had a difficult time, like turning it off, which a lot of drill instructors do have a hard time because they haven't realized, like, hey, we're not on the drill field. You're dealing with recruits. You're dealing with Marines.
Got it.
So you have to have a different approach when you deal with them. Now, I'm not saying don't be letting no stuff slide. Like if it needs to be corrected instantly, it needs to be corrected instantly. That's how you let them know what you about. Like, I'm not here for that. They already know you're a drill instructor. They're gonna know, hey, oh, we got a drill instructor coming. All the Marines like, here we go. We about to do all this extra stuff because we got a drill instructor coming. But that's not necessarily the case. You have to learn. You as that individual how to be able to turn it off. And I think a lot of people that do that SDAs, as special duty assignment, some of them get lost in the 3 months. And they forget that it's just 3 months doing that training. You can't forget yourself while you're doing that training.
Right.
Remember who you always are, because that's who you're gonna go back and be in the fleet. And a lot of people get lost on the streets while they're out there. So that's why some of them are not successful, some of them are successful. They get lost and entangled in that and can't let it go. So, and you don't want to do that. That's not good leadership for the Marines, and they're not wanting that. They're not. Some of them need it a little bit, but they're not. They're past that level in their career. They want you to mentor them. They want to be led. They want you to lead them. And I think a lot you get caught up in the yelling and screaming and stuff like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're teaching anything,
right?
Or you're not necessarily. There's no value behind why you're yelling. There's no value about why you're acting the way you're acting. So I think they should just, take a step back. It's different. It's not the drill field. We're back in the fleet, so you have to, treat it as such.
It's just crazy that we're like, when you talk about it like that, man, because so I had a situation, and I did a video about this also recently. I'm glad we're talking about it, and it just gives us more content to talk about now. But even me, I don't know, all of y'all on YouTube, all my subscribers, all my people know, like, I'm very passionate about my time as being a drill sergeant. Now, for me personally, and this is a situation that kind of has me questioning, or maybe not questioning, but just it gives me trouble trying to define, am I the weaker platoon sergeant or am I the tougher platoon sergeant? Or how am I actually acting? Am I being weak or am I being tougher? So went to Romania, right? And even before going to Romania, like, I knew I had to turn the drill sergeant mode off. It had been turned off. But there's so much basics in your time on the trail as a drill instructor and as a platoon sergeant, just as a soldier, that if you take it back to your unit, it could help for soldiers to be successful.
It will help.
You know what I mean? But I feel like it depends on how you insert it and how you apply it. Because what happens is, you have soldiers, they know you're coming here, you got your drill sergeant badge on, and they're gonna take it. They could perceive it as you're still in the drill sergeant mind. When necessarily that's not what it is. You're just trying to incorporate those basics to help the unit and your platoon to be more successful. I feel like that's what I was doing. I wasn't being drill sergeant. Of course, my drill sergeant, the mode was still with me. I was just trying to incorporate things, like, these are basic things. If we do
this, you should be doing the basics, brilliance in the basics.
Exactly. So what I feel like was happening, which kind of made me feel like I was being a tough platoon sergeant, but then, like I said, what transpired later makes me think, like, am I tough or am I weak? So I'm applying this stuff, and come to find out, like, I don't know. I heard from a certain soldier that I was still in my drill sergeant mind, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I feel like the way that I was being in Romania, I had a lot of reasons for why I was doing what I was doing, trying to be the tougher platoon sergeant, but it wasn't received very well from the soldiers, man. And I really felt like there was a real negative vibe that was coming from my guys, and it affected me. Hence, am I the weak platoon sergeant because I'm letting this stuff get to me? You know what I'm saying? I could have just kept it moving and kept on being tough with it, but me personally, things get to me, man. Things get to me, and
I understand that. Like I can sympathize with that, and like because me as a leader, some things get to me, but I know what I have a standard. It's a standard. It's a Marine Corps standard that I must uphold. So I'm gonna uphold a Marine Corps standard, but there's also a standard I have as a personal Marine or a personal individual. What I expect out of my junior Marines, and I set that standard. And I've always been taught, like I was talking about a great leader, hey, don't set an example. You need to be the example.
There you go.
So be something that you want somebody to be. So I try daily. I try my best to, emulate what I would want my juniors or my subordinates to see. And then, like, I mean, it's days, man. It's days where it's like it gets tough. But I have to, like, I'm so used to doing it. So it's not as hard as it would be,
right?
Because I've always done it. I've always set myself at a higher standard, and I've always been that way throughout my whole career. So it's not really hard for me. It gets difficult as far as kind of like navigating through different, I guess through different leadership styles or different ways that they were raised. Because you got to kind of like you got to get to know them to see what you can do to get through to the Marine if you're not getting through.
Some of them,
right? You
can lead by example all you want to, but it's up to them if they're actually going to follow you,
right,
and do how you're doing.
Right.
So that's one thing that I'm looking when I look and I try to see, like, I do the same thing as far as being the example. Like I do a lot of that. I come to work. I'm not asking my soldiers to come to work as early as I come to work, but don't be late to formation, stuff like that. Be it like stuff like that. And so, I used to have an issue, and I'm looking and trying to see who's not here, and all that good kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, but there's just certain things that I see that I'm trying to lead by example, but it's really up to the person, the soldier or that Marine, if they really want to follow that. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So, I don't know. It was just a thing for me, and I still try to lead by example as much as possible. I do. I'm there. This is how I am. You know what I'm saying? It's really just up to the soldiers, man, on how they want to do.
And I think media plays a lot in it, man, because I think this society and the way stuff is spent and the way how it's what they're seeing nowadays. And I have this talk with my Marines. I talk to the new Marines at least every Monday that they come in. I do classes for them, do Sabre classes for them, and I talk to them, and a lot of them, I think that the perception of what they thought they were joining, they didn't understand really what it was that they were joining. So Marine Corps is a professional war fighting organization,
right? So
there is a standard off top of what we accept, and a lot of them think that when we come in, we're going to just be gunning and running it. That's not necessarily the case all the time.
Right.
We're in a peacetime, so a lot of them they come in and they're like, oh, this is what we expected, and we're not getting it, so this is how we're gonna act and stuff like that. I don't think that there's like lack of resiliency or a lack of patience, and if they get bored with the situation, they brought up like, oh, I can just quit, or I'm done, I'm good with, I don't have to do it anymore. That's not the case. You signed a contract, so I mean. I think a lot of them have issues with that. They adjusting to actually being in the Marine Corps because it is a different organization. It is different from everybody else. Everybody, we all have. It's all armed forces, but it's something that's like demanded of you, something that is required from you from a Marine. A little bit more.
So they learn this while they're in basic training, though. So when you go back to the fleet, is it similar? Is there a lot of similarities between the fleet and being back in the streets, or what? So, I feel like that's where that comes from, man. Me with my time on the trail, I feel like the drill sergeants being in basic training is totally different. It's like, to me, I would imagine, especially nowadays, it's a 180. You know what I'm saying? Basic training is this, and you got your drill sergeants yelling at you. Then once you get to your unit, it's just totally different. It's very relaxed and very chill. I remember when I first got out of basic training and I got to my first unit and I looked at how chill it was, and I'm like, me and my battle buddy, we were in basic training together. We went to our first duty station together. So when we got there, us standing at parade rest, and we saw how other soldiers weren't doing it, and we looked at each other like, are these soldiers crazy?
I didn't know y'all stood at parade rest.
Do y'all do it?
We do it. And
see,
if they don't do it, we own them like, hey, you need to fix it right now.
Is this in the fleet?
That's everywhere that they go. So like they're in the pipeline for school line.
Mm-hmm.
So they come basic. They do basic. They do boot camp. Then they go into the MCT or ITB, whatever the case may be, whatever the MOS is. They go to and then they'll go to their schoolhouse after the Marine combat training. They will go to the schoolhouse, and we call it the pipeline. So the first 3 before they hit the fleet.
Okay. So
they're gonna do those first 3 things before they even hit the fleet. Mm-hmm. It's up to us to continue to sustain what the drill instructors instilled. Right. We're supposed to sustain it until they get to the fleet, where those NCOs, staff NCOs in the fleet, continue to sustain the transformation that they got. But they have to do that. Right. And it's up to us to continue it, because a lot of people say, hey, when they get to the schoolhouse, it's like they lose their mind, and they do. But it's not the schoolhouse fault.
I got you.
And I used to think that when I was in the fleet, because when I get from the schoolhouse, I'm like, man, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You know. And now that I'm here in the schoolhouse, and I know how the schoolhouse runs, I'm like, got it.
Okay.
Got it. So
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know. It's definitely a 180 from basic training to when you get to your unit, man. That's why I feel like it is in the Army. It kind of makes me think, like, what if the drill sergeants, I don't know, what if the Army incorporated something where the drill sergeant would go to the unit and help? You said the NCOs on the fleet, or we call it when you go back to ForceCom, we got TRADOC, and then we got ForceCom. ForceCom,
training command is
and then now in ForceCom, you're in the Forces Command after.
And that's another thing. Training command is a whole other mythical creature, because like and that's what boot camp is. Yeah. It's training command.
Same thing for us.
And the schoolhouse is training command. It's just set up differently. So like whereas in the fleet, you get time, you can mentor these Marines. Right. We only get them for 2 or 3 months, if that. Maybe a month and a half, we'll get them. And we only got so long to be with those Marines. So it ain't like we can get them in the fleet. We have 2-3 years with them, and we can mold them and shape them and develop them, mentor them into like what we need them to be. Here, we could just give them here and that, and then they're just gonna dump. It's like data dumping. Oh, I got this. Now I'm good. I passed it. Got my certificate. Now I'm moving on to the fleet. Right. And then they get to the fleet, and if they get a good NCO, a good corporal, that ain't gonna play that. Yeah. And then it's a whole wake up call.
See, for us, it's different, man. I think the Army, when it comes to NCOs upholding standards and stuff like that, it's hard for an NCO that wants to uphold the standards to actually do it, because not all NCOs are on the same page in the Army, man, when it comes to stuff like that. Me, like when I first got to the platoon, parade rest, custom courtesies, all that good stuff, all E4 and below. You know what I'm saying? Whatever rank that you're supposed to show that stuff to, you need to freaking show it. Hey, NCOs, get on the soldiers about it and let them know, look, y'all better freaking start going to parade rest like I'm telling everybody now. Now what happens is that stuff gets put out. Like I'm putting that stuff out to my soldiers and my NCOs. I think over time they stop doing it, and
people ain't correcting them. Nobody's keeping it. Nobody's staying on them.
I'm looking at E4s, talking to E5s, and them E4s ain't in parade rest. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your weak sergeant and you got your tough sergeant. If I start trying to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, why don't y'all make them freaking go to parade rest or blah, 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 blah. I think at some point it starts looking like micromanaging. You see what I'm saying?
But it's not. If you ask me, I don't think it's micromanaging. If you demanding something on them, like you ask, hey, I'm telling you, I need you to do your job, or I can come do your job. Like in Marines, I think we take pride in those positions that we get. See, when I was a corporal, like I didn't like my sergeants to be around for nothing. Yeah. I was like, I got it. This is me. Right. If anything happens, I'll come get you and I'll let you know. But I will also back brief you on what's going on with these Marines so that you know.
That's what needs to happen.
That's like ownership. You can't really teach ownership, man. Like they gotta want it, and they gotta really want. They gotta have an understanding for it and a passion for it. So I mean, and I get what you're saying, because we have some Marines that don't make corrections. It's hard for us to make corrections. Like I'll say hands in the pockets, and everybody know what I'm talking about. Of course. Hands in their pockets. That's been a big one for years. We're not supposed to put our hands in our pockets. Orders black and white. Hey, don't put your hands in your pocket. You know, there's some great space in there. You feel and all this other stuff. hands down, your hands not supposed to be in your
Yeah,
pocket. They're not made to be in your pockets. And you have, NCOs that make those corrections, but you have other NCOs that have their hands in their pocket
There you go.
while they're making this correction. And so the Junior Marines are like, but he got his hands in his pocket though.
Do what I say, not as I do.
Right. And then there you go.
All
Then now it's toxicity. It starts to flow because it's like, well, dang, like now, he's telling us to do something, but his counterpart is not doing it.
Right.
And we're watching this right now, but you're gonna tell me you're gonna make the correction on me, but you didn't make the correction on him. So
yeah, definitely, man. The double standards happens a lot. I know soldiers don't respond very well to the double standards at all, and I don't know. I'm big on not with the double standards, but it's like I said, that's another one of those things. It's tough when you got leadership acting a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to instill the discipline, but other people aren't freaking as disciplined and they're not doing their thing.
And then they leave you out there, like you out there, John. You're like, dog, help me, bro. Like, help me so we can make this whole, like, make the whole platoon, the whole unit better.
Right.
And you're just doing whatever you want to do. Like, come get on board with what we're doing, so we can fix this stuff. Because it's simple stuff. Like, if everybody's on the same page, they can't play the mommy daddy games because they know who they can go to, who's the weaker individual.
There you go.
They can go to. And then the one that they think is hard or whatever, but I'm just holding a standard. It's not my standard, it's the Marine Corps standard.
Right.
And you're going to do what it says in black and white.
Just
hands down. You shouldn't have signed the contract if that's it. If you didn't want to smoke, you shouldn't have came and got to it. You shouldn't have came to the fire.
Yeah. And then I think it's all about delivery too and how you do it. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes your delivery is what puts out the persona of somebody being a weak platoon sergeant or being the tough platoon sergeant.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can the way that you put out, hey, you're gonna follow the standard, and it just is how it is. You know what I mean? Some people might see you as soft like that, but some people, if they really look at you, they'll have their own thoughts like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's being fair and impartial. Just go ahead and do it that way like that.
Right, because you don't have to always yell and scream and hoop and holler and stuff like that. It's going to be time for that. It's going to be some times where you got to, get in there and get it. Get after it. But most of the times it's just, hey, like I feel like they secretly want to be, because they want to be led. Yeah. They want to be taught. They want to be trained. They want to hold a standard. But the fact is, it's uncomfortable to lead. Yeah. It's uncomfortable to be an example. Are you okay being uncomfortable? Right. So, like you said, like say as I do. Well, don't do what I do, but do as I say. Yeah. But you have to give them that. You have to give them something to emulate, and they want it. A lot of them want it. Yeah. But you got the ones and twosies that are like trying to brighten or poison the whole group, and that's what you gotta weed out. This is where you gotta go. Yeah. And once you get that out of there, then it'll be easy. Everybody else will start following that line. True.
I think I got a good group of males and females, man. That I don't really see anybody that's trying to poison the group. I do see some that they can put in a little bit more effort. Some of them that aren't trying as hard as others, but I don't see anybody that's trying to poison the group or nothing like that. Have you ever had a situation with you being a platoon sergeant that you had to turn it up and freaking get crazy with them?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, like, some people feel like I don't really turn it down. Like, and I don't know. Like, I don't know how to really. I feel like I do. I feel like I've gotten better as I've gone in my Marine Corps career. I've gotten better because when I first came off the drill field, I was just like all day was getting it, and then I started to the fleet. I started like getting comfortable with the Marines, and I started learning my Marines, and I knew when to turn it on, and I knew who I needed to turn it up on. But it's just depending on that situation, I guess. So like whatever situation, with the Marines are in trouble or whatever they may do, it just depends on what it is. Right. Because sometimes it needs an immediate attention, and you need to let them know I ain't playing with you. Yeah. Like we ain't got time for this. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I expect of you. This is like the third time you've been late, pimp. Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? And then you start peeling back that onion, and then that's when you start finding out what's really going on. Because usually Marines, that don't happen until somebody, like a good Marine is doing what they're supposed to be doing, coming to work on, doing what they, being outstanding. And then something happens, and then they start being trash, being nasty, being dirtbags, and you start noticing that. And then that's when you have to sometimes you have to I guess, turn it on and then see what the response you get out of that. Right. And depending on the response, then I guess you'd have to take a step back and be like, okay, let's really see what's going on with this individual, because this is not like them. They don't act like this normally. But yeah, it has been. It just depends on situations. I mean, I kind of stay neutral in a sense. But if I do need to turn it on, turn it on. Same thing with my students. Like they know when I'm not. Like they know. They be like, "What's that song? He pretty good, you know, for the most of it." Cause I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty like relaxed. But if they freaking test me or something like that, oh, it's on and popping. Yeah. And they know. They already know. So it's kind of it's like 3 steps for me, and I'm on it.
I feel you.
I'm on it. It's like left, right, left, and I'm on it. I'm on it, dog.
I remember for me, it was like maybe 2 or 3 months after I took over the platoon sergeant position. We had a field training exercise we had to go to where our different. So we have my whole group is a platoon. Mm-hmm. If in my platoon, when you start breaking down the teams, we have our squads. I got 3 different squads, and then within the 3 different squads, there's little different teams, right? Okay. And so we had what were called our squad evals. Each squad was getting evaluated on our bridge building, our float bridge, right? So I remember there was one morning, the night prior, I told everybody, look, we need to be awake at this time so we can get up in the morning and start getting moving or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I remember I woke up, and the time had come for everybody to wake up, but nobody had woke up. So I chilled for a second, Jay, and because, right?
Go ahead.
I was trying to be chill. Now, I didn't do nothing crazy, but I did turn my voice up. But I gave them like 20 minutes.
So you gave them an extra 20 minutes to the time.
I gave them
that
time.
You originally gave them.
Because I didn't want to go in there straight bucking off. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we supposed to be up at 05:30. All right, let me see what's happening. 05:35, nobody up yet. 05:40, nope, nobody up. We supposed to send up our freaking our purse stats. Supposed to send that up. 05:45, okay. So I went in the tent at 05:50. Get the fuck up, second. I'm pretty sure first platoon down the way heard me freaking yelling. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was one instance. Early in the morning in the field. There's times to be the tough platoon sergeant. There's times to be the tough soldier. Right. But then there's times where you have to kind of back off and turn it down a little bit.
It's a human factor behind it.
Yeah.
It's a human factor.
So Jay, we've been in here for almost 40 minutes. I want to take some time to go into the chat to see if anybody has says anything, if anybody got any questions or anything like that, man. Okay. I know we got a lot of people. These guys that are in the blue right here, these are my mods right here. You got Defiant Tents. Big shout out to Defiant Tents, one of my first super fan members, right? So Defiant Tents shows a special support to me, and Sang is also in here. My other mod, they showing a little special support. But they're up in here doing their chat. Let me see what we got. Of course, we got Household 6 up in here. Yes, Defiant Tents. I know y'all been in the chat the whole time.
Own him.
Been in the whole chat, taking over the whole time. I see y'all. I see you. But definitely we got Household 6 up in here. Let me see. Big shout out. Let's see. Shut down NYC. That's AJ. AJ talking about he's in NYC. Big shout out to AJ for coming up in here. Let's see.
I see the Simple Fidelis.
So that's Brock David right there. That's one of my NCOs in my platoon, and he's a prior service Marine that's now a soldier.
Right in.
So yeah, he definitely understands. He's a gunny. I got a feeling he was talking about you. Okay. Let me see. Big shout out to Household 6, man. Big shout out to Household 6 with the kids up in here. Let me see. What else we got, man? I think the Army has banned those cadences now. I haven't been in trouble yet, Sang says. Chang says, my last trail was 2023. I sang Yogi Bear, all the type. Let me see.
Yogi Bear, what's that about?
Yogi Bear? Mm-hmm. You don't know who Yogi Bear is?
That's the dude that in the forest, right?
Yeah, Yogi and Boo Boo.
Okay, yeah.
So they just talking about different stuff. Defiance says, I wonder when Sergeant's gonna notice that we took over the chat.
Oh yeah, y'all in there, man. Y'all up in there.
Yep, he'll realize that he's focused and motivated. Y'all know I stay focused and motivated all day. Let me see. You're not a soft PSG, just saying. So that's my sergeant right there telling me. So he knows. I definitely try, man. There's just different things, different times, you know what I'm saying, where I'll turn it on and I'll turn it off. It's just a second guessing kind of thing for me. I've always had that freaking issue ever since I was in the Army.
Did I handle that the right way?
Exactly, man.
Could I have handled that a better way? I mean,
yeah.
we learn. That's what leadership is about. It's about evolving. Mm-hmm. But you having that, you understanding, yourself like, oh, maybe I could have did that. That's good that you understand that and you can recognize that because we are growing. We're steady evolving as human beings, and we can learn from junior Marines. They teach us. That's who taught me. My junior Marines who taught me how to be a leader. They taught me.
Okay.
I feel like I had like some tendencies to lead. You know, I always wanted to be in front. I always wanted to be in front and be heard.
Got it. But
they taught me how to teach Marines. Told me how to motivate and mentor Marines. So I learned a lot of that from my juniors.
Yeah.
And I feel like they made me a better leader because of it, you know. And they keep me motivated too. Like right now, I'm telling you, they're the only reason that I'm still in the Marine Corps.
I hear you, man.
They're the only reason I'm still in there because I love mentoring and training and leading the next group. Okay. That's what I want to do, and I want to make sure that the Marine Corps is in good hands when I get up out of here. Yeah. You know. So. A part of me trying to be the tough platoon sergeant, right? Just like you said, you love being out in front, right? So. I don't know. To me it's like there's certain levels as soldiers. It's kind of like you're famous a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I like to be out in front of my soldiers too, man. Platoon formations. I enjoy being out there. Like this is my platoon, so I'm leading from the front. Now, I know I had heard also in my platoon that I hold too many formations, you know what I mean? But I like to get everybody together, and I like to be in front of everybody and make sure that everybody is getting all the information. What's too many formations?
I don't know, man. Like, I know there was one time, I'm not going to get into specifics about it because, like, I don't want to put my guys on blast and stuff like that, but it was definitely needed that I needed to get everybody together and make sure, you know, things were happening, accountability and stuff like that. There were times that things were happening, that things were transpiring, things were happening that I needed to make sure that we did that. So that's the reason why I was holding my formation.
And sometimes that's not necessarily that need to be explained. Like if you got to do something, you got to do it. It's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Some things you have time to explain, other things you don't. Like you got to get it. Like this is being demanded from up top. This is what they need from me, and I'm damn if I don't get what they need from me. We're gonna get it. You know?
Exactly.
And I think that's because a lot of Marines have problems with that too, and they think like three formations a day is too many formations. I mean, to me, it just depends on how your unit running, what the unit tempo is, what you expect of your platoon. I would do 3. I would do morning, then before chow, and then I do after chow. Well, yeah, I do morning, before chow, and then I do evening. Okay. And that's just, hey, man, just for accountability purposes and the past word, because word might come out throughout the day that you didn't get that morning. Right. Or you might get some more word after chow that you need to pass it in before they go home. You know, and then you got to make sure they get the word before they go home, because a lot of people are like, my text message done. Right. It was blue. Yeah. So, you know, you just got to make sure. And I think that's what I don't think it's too much. I think it's good to over it, just so that they know, because they like to be like, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't get that, but I didn't get the word. Right. You lying? You lying? I make sure you got it from my mouth, and then I make sure I texted it in the group, so you got it. Yeah. You know?
I know when I first took over my platoon, I noticed that, like, so we go to chow at 11 or 11:30, and we have to be back at 1300. That's the time I was putting out. Everybody be back at 1300. But I was having issues with soldiers showing back up on time. So what was I doing? Holding formations every day after chow. After chow, 1300 formation. Got accountability, everybody. Where's your people at? Where's your people at? Stuff like that. So I know in the beginning, that was one thing. You know, you keep holding, Sergeant Lynch, you keep holding these formations right after chow for us to get back to work at 1300. You're holding too many formations. Another thing that
did y'all make my formation the first time I held it?
Exactly.
All right, then, because you know what we did in the Marine Corps? It'd been 15 minutes to the 15 minutes prior. And then we can't get it in 15 minutes to that 15 minutes prior. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Call it gunny time. Yeah. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And then I just learned after time, man. I learned after time. I don't always have to, you know, after the platoon formation, like at the end of the day formation, I don't have to hold everybody and reiterate a lot of things or whatever the case may be. I talk with my squad leaders, and what we try to do is let me give them the information before we have
leadership too. That gives them something to hold, so they can be like, okay, like I'm in charge of making sure that they get the word. So they give them ownership, and they teach them, hey, now you pass the word. So now if they don't get the word, you know who I'm coming from.
Yep, so, most definitely. And that's one thing I learned too. Give them the information prior to formation. That way, once first sergeant is saying it's done, and he says platoon sergeant take charge, I turn around, I salute, hey, second sergeant take charge, get them out of here. They give them the notes, I'll walk. So that way I'm not, I'm not holding them. As much as I like to be in front of them and to see everybody's faces and stuff like that, it makes me feel good to see all my platoon and all that stuff like that. But it doesn't, it's just sometimes not received well from all soldiers. So I'd rather, section sergeants, y'all got them. Squad leaders, y'all got them. Y'all know what we got to do. Go ahead and give me the information and keep it moving like that. So that's one thing I learned about holding a lot of formations and stuff like that. Let me see. I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom of the chat so we can get with a little bit more of the recent chats and stuff like that. The Marine and Staff Sergeant. So people are talking about you, wondering what your rank is. It sounds
I'm a Staff Sergeant, SSGT.
There you go. It sounds like Sarge wants adults to be adults and not hold everyone's hands, but they have to be taught how to be accountable. That's Latoya from Harlem. She's been one of my subscribers and in the chats a lot. Toya from Harlem, I definitely appreciate you and your words, but you see it exactly how I want it and how I think it should be, man. Definitely. With me being a prior drill sergeant, I'm so used to holding hands. Like it's not a problem for me at all, to hold hands, but I have to realize who my audience is, whose hand am I holding. My squad leaders, right? They want to take charge and they want to take accountability and be in charge of their squad. So until I really see that they really need it, or unless they come to me and ask, I need to not hold their hands.
Yep.
I need to not
let them figure it out just a little bit.
Yeah. I even have E5 some of my sergeants. I need to mentor. They want that mentorship, but even with them, I can't hold their hand. I can't because
it's like a left or right lateral limit that you give them. Hey, this is where you can't go, and this is where you're not allowed to go, and this is where you're not allowed to go. If you work in this right here, you good. Yeah. And if you don't, I'll push you back in. Yeah. I'll put you back in where you're supposed to be operating. Yeah. So and then I definitely understand that.
Other people, other NCOs would see me if holding the hands of my soldiers and stuff like that. That's where you go to being the freaking soft platoon sergeant. You know what I mean? So
you gotta learn, man. That's the whole thing. Like you can't, like it's a saying, man. It says like if I give you fish, then you'll eat for one day. But if I teach you how to fish, you're gonna eat for many days.
I just told Amber, just telling Amber about that. I'm so sick about this, man.
Right, I want to teach you. And that's what I was telling my Marines the other day. I said I could teach you. Like they were trying to identify stuff on the truck. I could tell you exactly where it's at. Right. But if you go to the technical manual and you don't ask me, you go find for yourself. I'll show you where to find it at. Then you'll know where to find it. You know where you can always revert back to.
Most definitely. So we got David Brock. He said, you can always see my face, PSG. He's talking to me. But he has 2 questions for you, though. Okay. David Brock has 2 questions.
Hit me. Lay it on me.
Go ahead and put your questions up in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get those. Let's see. Why did they think it was okay to show up late to formation? Joe Clarity was asking. I think he was talking about when we were talking about, for me, holding the formations.
When you gave them almost an hour?
So are you talking about when we was in the field? So I don't know.
I said whoa.
So Joe Clarity, if you're talking about the after chow formations, it's not that they were showing up late to formations, but I was holding my formations after chow because I would see that normally we would say, okay, everybody be back at 1300 ready to work. I would see people, I would be looking, and there are certain people that I would see that was not there at 1300. So hence with that, hey, from next week or so, I'm gonna start holding formations right after chow at 1300 so we can make sure everybody's here. So that's how that came about. Clarity. Let me see. Staff Sergeant being
because they do. Somebody said because they do what they want.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But they need to know
there's no consequences behind it. If there's no consequences behind it, I do what I want. There need to be a consequence behind it.
Yep. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and tell him. And here, go ahead. Mass punishment for the win, Defiance says.
That's funny.
Hey, mass punishment will get him, man.
Sometimes it work, man. Sometimes it work. It did. I mean, you can't overuse that mass punishment thing though, because you're gonna start losing the Marines that actually care, the ones that are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then that's not good. That's really not good.
And then for me, the whole thing about mass punishment, that's one thing that crosses my mind all the time. But the one thing that I will not do is because you talking about mass punishment, right? So everyone in the platoon, if I'm an E7, I got E6s. I am not going to I'm not going to do that to my E6s in front of the E5 and below. I would never, if I'm going to, it's definitely crossed my mind, man. Like, I got my squad leaders. Hey, man, this squad leader needs some work. I need to freaking, you know what I'm saying? You need to get in the front lane and rest. But I would never do that in front of the platoon. I'm pulling back over here and do that over there. Like,
right, because you take away from him. You take away from him how they look at him, because they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's the great, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you're just taking away from him and his leadership style, because now they're seeing that and they're like, oh, like, yeah, we could just keep doing this and you just gonna keep getting the business, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely pulled back when I thought about that, pulled back on it, and I just put, hey, get over here. Let me talk to you real quick. That's another topic too, because I feel like we have some issues with that in the Marine Corps as far as taking away from ranks in front of junior Marines. So like our E3s and below, and you making corrections on corporals and sergeants. I don't think that you should do that in front of the junior Marines, because again, that takes away from what they're doing. Right. I usually, like you said, I pull them to the side and be like, dog, you know you're not supposed to be doing that. You know you're supposed to be, so fix yourself before. Right. But then, if you continue to do what you're doing, then I'm gonna put you on blast in front of your junior Marines. So that they know that we're not gonna just let you act the way you're acting. Yeah. So definitely. So Brock David has his questions up there for you. First is, please tell me they changed the way they help junior Marines, NCOs, and senior enlisted with the mental help. When I was in, that's why I got out. My buddy went to my command to reach out for help, and they kicked him out of the company office and said, figure it out. And the next week he killed himself. Sad to say, I'm sorry to hear that, man. He left behind his 8-month pregnant wife alone because of his command. So please tell me they have changed the way they do things. So, I only can speak for certain commands. I mean, a lot of it is just based on the leadership of whoever the commander is, and what he takes serious, as far as talking with those Marines or trying to get to the root of the problem of that. I could say, like, if within my realm of where I'm at, I kind of take, I'll take the time to kind of realize, like, if I notice me knowing that Marine, and whoever was over that Marine should have known something was different or something was off with that Marine, and they should have been, telling the command, letting the command know, hey, look, he's not operating the way maybe there's something more that's going on with him. And if they did do that, then the commander should have been like, okay, let me see, like, what's really going on with this Marine. Let me bring him in my office. Let me have a conversation with him and see what's going on. That's failed leadership. That's horrible leadership, actually, because they should have recognized that. I think some of the commands that I've been with, they've gotten better as far as, just to answer your question, they've gotten a little bit better with that. They actually, they'll try to peel the onion back and do investigations and try to find out exactly what is going on. But I can't speak for every command. I just know that this command is a little bit better about that. They do identify those issues, and they try to help as much as they can. Not saying that we're successful in saving everybody, because we're not. It happens. But we are, like, cutting those numbers down by being more intrusive as leaders. Did that answer your question? Cool. Okay. Got that formal schoolhouse. Hey, man. That's how you get it, man. So Limitless is asking me if I've been promoted yet. Question for Lynch. Defianton says, yep, Sergeant First Class E7 now. So the cat's out of the bag as far as for me. I wanted to tell y'all in a video, and I got a video coming soon with the promotion, but since y'all are talking about it now, okay, so now y'all know, man. Big shout out. The boy is you can't hear it, but it's up there. Hopefully it's working, you know what I'm saying? But the boy got promoted, man. On June 1st, I got promoted to a Sergeant First Class. And it feels good, man. It feels good. Thank you for the congrats, man. Let's see what other kind of question we got. Oh, second question. So Brock is asking, what's the biggest pet peeve you have while on or off duty? Is this is for your Marine right here? The biggest pet peeve. I feel like I guess I would say listening to understand, like listening to your Marines to understand versus listening to respond. I feel like us as leaders, we're more, hey, we got to get this done. Focus on this, and that. Where we miss something that may have been said to us. And we're always thinking about, hey, this is what we're going to respond to this Marine, because we already have those cookie cutter, they come on, you got the cookie cutter responses to all of it. Versus listening to that Marine, and they could be really crying out for you, crying out for attention and guidance and leadership, and you just like pushing them to the wayside. So I think that would be my biggest pet peeve, is just listening to respond rather than listen to understand.
Cool. Okay. So, I see up here one of my other, I call him my friend, right? He's my friend, but he's also a subscriber also to me. We got to give a big shout out to Sang. Sang done got promoted to a staff sergeant, and he reclassed to be a 12 November. So big shout out to Sang. Sang, congratulations on that. 12 November and now at E6. Very well deserved, man. Very well deserved. Sang, man, he's if I'm not mistaken, I remember correctly, he's in the Washington. I think he's in Washington National Guard. Okay. But this dude is a drill sergeant. He's an E5. He goes in tough, man. He came down here and did a couple cycles down here. I remember he was coming out here also to, I think he was trying to go to like 12 Bravo school or something like that. He's trying to go be an engineer. So he flew out here and I picked him up. I met him on YouTube, but I went and picked him up from the airport, brought him over here and got him over here and everything. So big congrats to Sang, man. Sang, I know you're going to do good things, man. I know you're going to keep it moving, and just good luck with everything, brother. Good luck, man. Let me see. Yeah, so Brock David, he did record my promotion video. On the way, man. Promotion video on the way. Y'all will see that soon. Let me see what other kind of questions. We got any other kind of questions up in here. Just like the fourth paragraph in the Drill Sergeant Creed, it's all about leading by example. Never require a soldier to attempt any task not willing to do yourself. Continue to lead and follow. Okay. It's the only thing I don't like about the chat, like, and especially when we get in the vibe and we're talking, like, you know what I'm saying, this stuff that happened so long ago. I don't even know if these people are even still in the chat and in the video. This seems to be an issue in all careers. Some people shouldn't be in management. Maybe management skills should be taught in high school. I definitely think that would be. Toya from Harlem said that maybe management should be taught in high school. It's crazy. You got different cultures in different countries and stuff like that. Like, they're required once they're 18 years old to join the military. Mm-hmm. So if they're gonna learn their management skills, they're gonna learn it at some point in time, regardless if they learn in high school or they join the military and learn it. But for us, I think it would be one of those things. It's maybe management skills should be taught in high school. Now, I don't know if it was a requirement, then yes. But I don't know. I just feel like our government is so.
Yeah, they need to be taught some management skills.
You know what I'm saying? And then us,
they mismanage sometimes too. Like, we're not perfect. You know, like we're all learning. We're learning. We're gonna continue to learn. But I definitely can see your point. Mm-hmm. What she's saying as far as management, or at least know how to deal. You know, at least be able to learn how to lead or to manage.
Right. Sang says he's in the Army Reserve, not the National Guard. My bad. Stand corrected on that.
I didn't know it was a difference.
Yeah.
I thought the reserves and the National Guards was y'all reserve.
So we have, they're kind of the same in a sense, but you have the National Guard is ran statewide. Okay. National Guard, if I'm not mistaken, the National Guard is run by each state. Okay. I think the reserves is.
It would be like our reserve, right? Like.
Y'all have the Marine Reserves? Yeah, so y'all don't have Marine National Guard? Mm-mm. So yeah, so
it's reservists and active duty.
So I would think that ours is the same way. It's still government. It's still ran by the government, but it's, you know, they have that choice of state. Okay. You know what I'm saying? How often they go to train and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. If they start the draft, we are screwed. LOL. That's what David Brock said, or Brock. I keep calling him David Brock.
I think don't China, aren't they required to?
I know, like
required to do.
I know in Thailand they're required to join their army for 2 years. Once they turn 18, they got to go to the Army for 2 years. I'm not sure about China or Japan and stuff like that, but it's possible. Saying says, instead of the draft, can I get sent on my 4th deployment? 4 deployment. How many? Have you ever been on deployment?
I got 3.
I have 1 deployment in my whole time. Well, some people may consider our last 30 days. It's not. That is not a freaking deployment, man. Going to Romania to do what we did. Of course, we went out of the country, but that ain't no freaking deployment, man. That ain't no deployment. But yeah, I've been
2 comeback tours and then a regular.
Okay, got you. Clarity says critical thinking, conflict resolution, and problem solving should all be taught in elementary
Not
school.
elementary. You said quick. You said you're trying to get on it quick.
Don't wait until they get in high school. China is not required, but highly recommended. Korea is mandatory. Okay, I got you. Thank y'all all for that, man. Thank y'all. But yeah, just think how different we would be, man, if critical thinking, conflict resolution, problem solving, all that stuff was taught. Even not, let's say even, at some point in time, middle school or something. You know what I mean?
Middle school. I think, that would be a good time to teach it, to introduce it.
I think that the military would benefit definitely, and even
when you got your ROTC, they kind of like start you.
True.
They start you with that.
Right.
If you are in that program.
But you have to
start at 9th grade and you can, work your way.
It's not a requirement in high school though.
Right.
You know,
you gotta
if
choose it. Yeah.
If it's like an elective. Now, if they required you to go through it, then that might be one thing too. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think I would enjoy being an ROTC instructor at a high school. I think I would, man.
That would be my next move.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Defiances has 3 deployments and an overseas tour. Okay. We have an overseas tour. That's what freaking Romania was for us, an overseas tour. So, but yeah. So, how you feel so far, Jay, about our first little video that we've done? Kind of like a podcast a little bit. How you feeling about it, man?
I'm feeling good. I feel like it was some good stuff that we covered here.
Yeah.
Hopefully we help clear up a few things too, and kind of, I guess, a little bit of what's different between the branches. But I feel good. I feel comfortable.
Okay.
I think I'd like to do some more.
Okay.
I'd like to do some more, definitely.
Okay. So I don't know, man. Let's plan to do some more, man. Let's plan to do some more. We'll get together and do this again.
Did they ask for a cadence? Did y'all ask for a cadence?
I don't know if
did somebody say something about a cadence?
Somebody said something about some cadences or something like that. Somebody said something. What you about to do? You ain't about to do them right now, or do you wanna talk about cadences on another video?
We could do that in another video. We'll say that we can say that for another video.
Right here, Brock Davis said Marine drill cadences are fire. There you go.
Hey.
So okay. Yeah, if y'all got any ideas of any more videos, maybe y'all would like to see me and Jay get up here and do. We're trying to think of maybe a series that we want to call this. I don't know if y'all seen the thumbnail, but we have the Marine and the soldier. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We can incorporate something like that. But just from the video standpoint, me and Jay definitely want to experiment more. Whether it's live streams, whether we record something, edit it, and put it out, stuff like that. We definitely are open to suggestions. So if y'all can, think of anything from like a podcast point of view, from a Marine and soldier, different things for us to talk about, or I don't know, questions about something. I don't know. Anything. Y'all put those down in the comment section below. I don't know, man. This is my dude right here. I definitely appreciate you coming through, man. And
for sure.
I don't know. Y'all make sure y'all go check out his page.
Check out that video. Make sure y'all go see Non-Consensual, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and put his YouTube up in here one more time, just so y'all can see it. And
thank y'all for having me, man. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Y'all make sure y'all go check him out. We'll be thinking of some things, and like I said, if y'all have any suggestions on anything, feel free to put them down in the comment section below. One thing I want to do is give a big shout out. I don't know if people are going to see this, but my subscribers from the last 7 days, man, I used to do this a lot. My subscribers for the week, I got to give a big shout out to Random European, Hunter Hodges, Joe Vola, Terry Moore, just a couple of bums podcasts. So there's a podcast that subscribed. I'm going to check them out. Tamatu Kill, Gage Colbrantz, Carl, I don't know how to say, what is it? Carl PD Stars, I think. Carl PD Stars 1, Joe Bollinger, Christian Andrews. They all subscribed in the last week, man. So big shout out to all y'all. Thank y'all for coming to check us out, man. Let me link this. Let me link Jay's YouTube one more time. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. Anything else you want to say, Jay? Anything else you want to say to the people?
Man, thank y'all for the love. I thank y'all for having me. Hopefully we can get back on this again. I like it. I like the whole vibe. Maybe we look out for them cadences and we'll see who got the best cadence. But right now,
so we gonna call cadences?
We might do something like that. It's what they want. If they want to hear it, then hey, I'm about it.
Wow.
I'm about it.
Y'all have any videos y'all want us to react to? We could do reactions, all that good stuff. We there's a lot of stuff we could do, man. And we're gonna decide. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing this on my page or doing it on his page, but I definitely want y'all, SFAM, go support him, go to his page, go check him out, because he's gonna be putting stuff up there. And he's a funny dude. He's funny, man. Y'all see him offline talking about stuff that don't have to do with military, man. I'll be hanging with this dude, and him and his wife be having me weak, man. So, but definitely go check him out, man. SFAM, go show him some support. And yeah, we'll be standing by. We'll work on some things and figure out what we're gonna do here in the future, man. But anyway, SFAM stand up. SFAM salute. Stay focused and motivated. Get motivated up in this jank one time. Y'all know what it is, man. I love y'all to death, SFAM. Deuces. We're gonna get up out of here, and we'll see y'all soon, man. Yeah.